Hey Harry's Coastal collection came out last year and was probably one of my favorite CC collections of 2023. I haven't built with it in a while and figured I would return to it with a small blue coastal cottage in Willow Creek. I'm starting with the rough shape of the house on this Potter's Splay 30 by 20 lot in the Courtyard Lane neighborhood of Willow Creek, which is where the Pancake family lives. I originally planned on having a garage for this house because of the layout of this lot, but ultimately decided not to, and I do flip the orientation of the house, so the bump out where the garage is goes on the left side, the chimney ends up going on the right side, and I flip all of that around. The roofing for this house was not the hardest roofing I've ever done, but definitely not something I'm used to. I'm used to very easy flat roofing, or what I think is easy, so actually having to use a ton of different roofing pieces takes a little bit more brain power for me. I planned on using only Hey Harry's Coastal collection to furnish this house, but quickly realized that it would not be enough. While the Coastal collection does have tons of great furniture items and also some build items, it's definitely not enough to furnish an entire house, especially if you want it to look lived in and cluttered up. I realized this in the living room and ultimately acquiesced and decided I would just use some other kits. I did try to narrow it down though, so I didn't want to use too many different custom content collections. I wanted to keep it pretty simple so that if you only wanted to download a specific number, you wouldn't be missing anything. I think I stayed pretty true to that. I was also excited to use Pierre Sim's new combo set, which is intended for attic spaces. Prior to building this, I had also found out that the Clutter Cat has finally posted Sunny Sunday Part 3 and some other CC collections that they came out with last year. For some reason, they weren't available for download until now, so I had to load into my game and immediately play around with them and put them to use. I'm starting to go in with my favorite doors and windows in my entire CC collection. These are from Hey Harry's Coastal collection. Actually, now that I think about it though, her clean collection probably rivals these doors and windows. Totally different vibes, but equally just as great. I love that all of these doors and windows match. They have a very distinct style, like very suburban, coastal, East Coast cottage, but at the same time, very versatile, especially with all the different swatches they come in. Chef's kiss. We all know the Sims 4 team could never. Even though I end up incorporating items that aren't from Hey Harry's Coastal collection in the interior, I stay pretty true to the Coastal collection on the exterior. I'm pretty sure the entire exterior is only the Coastal collection or Sims 4 base game. So I'm pretty proud of myself for that, because it is very hard to only use one CC collection when you have so much gorgeous custom content in your library. As you can see, I'm currently individually placing these half-gabled roof pieces. This is because in order for the roof not to clip into the walls when I do the floor plan, I have to individually place these half-gabled roof pieces and adjust the overhanging eaves so they don't cut into the rooms. It's The Sims 4, so of course they have to make it complicated. We just gotta go with it. So that is how to work around getting your roof pieces not to clip into your rooms. And before anybody gets on my ass, yes, there is a chimney, and no, there's not a fireplace inside the house. I was planning on having a fireplace in the house, but I didn't like the placement of the fireplace. Like, if I was gonna line it up with the chimney on the exterior, I didn't like where the fireplace had to be, and ultimately this house isn't as big as it looks from the outside. On the interior, maybe it's just I didn't fully take advantage of the space inside the house. It turns out a lot smaller than I was expecting it to be, so I foregoed. I think it's foregoed. I foregoed the fireplace in exchange for a TV. At the time of recording this, my brain is not functioning at 100% capacity. It's not that early, but I just didn't sleep that well last night, and it's been such a busy weekend. Normally, I would film my Sims builds and do the edits and voiceovers over the weekend, but because normally my weekends are not as busy as this one was, I had a friend, one of my best friends, visiting from Chicago, and so I wanted to spend as much time with her as possible this weekend. Had some parties, some family over. It was much more hectic than I was expecting, and now I am exhausted and not ready for the work week. I absolutely love all of these custom fence pieces from the Coastal collection. These railings for the stairway are really cool. The only thing is that they don't snap to the stairs. I totally get why. Like, it would be a lot more work to have to program that into the game instead of just building and creating these fence pieces as decorations. So I manually raised them up onto the stairs using the 9 key, and I did forget to do one side of the railing, and I don't fix it. We're just gonna have to deal with that. I didn't even really realize until I was doing the screenshots, and at that point I was like, well, it's too late. The flooring I'm using is from Charlie Pancake's Coastal collection. Great flooring. I used it in my previous builds for the land grab remodel. I'm probably gonna use it in a lot of my builds going forward. The wallpaper is from Pierre Sims I'm so used to saying Domaine du Clos. It's Pierre Sims' new Combles collection on the second floor. That's the wallpaper. And then on the bottom floor, it is Pierre Sims' Domaine du Clos wallpaper. And then I'm going in and just roughly mapping out where I want everything to go, like where the kitchen is going to be, the dining room, the living room. Everything I'm using right now is from Hey Harry's Coastal collection. I don't know why I was so determined, to use Hey Harry's Coastal collection right now, not realizing that I was already cheating by using different flooring and wallpaper upstairs. So I might as well have embraced using all different kinds of kits, but I guess I was still trying to restrict myself to only using the Coastal collection and a few other kits. Yes, those cabinets and media center are the same swatch. They just look like they're not the same swatch because there's a shadow on one of them. It's The Sims 4. What am I gonna do? If you've seen my Hamptons mansion, then a lot of this furniture will look very familiar to you because I did a build using mostly Hey Harry's Coastal collection, and it was a giant Hamptons inspired house. That was one of my earlier videos, so you're an OG if you know what I'm talking about. If not, please don't worry about it. Don't go back and watch it. As one of my first videos, I think I have improved a lot in a short amount of time since posting it, and I'm sure in a year or two I'll remake another, or probably less than a year, let's be honest. I will remake another coastal cottage or house using this Coastal collection by Hey Harry because I love it so much, and I will feel like this small blue coastal cottage is outdated. You know, it's the circle of being on YouTube and constantly growing and improving your building skills. At this point, I've nailed down the layout of the first floor. You walk into the living room immediately. It's a small living room, but I decided to make this a 1 bedroom, 2 bathroom, or I guess 1.5 bathroom house. So it doesn't really need to be a large living space. There is an easel for some skill building and money making if you would like to play in this house. A dining area with ample dining space and gorgeous views to the backyard, and then a kitchen in the side of the house on the side bump out. It's a tight squeeze for a kitchen, a lot smaller than I would like to build because you all know I love building very large luxurious kitchens, but I think it's a realistic kitchen. It's a small cozy one and definitely still very functional. Lots of counter space for your Sims to work on, and I minimally cluttered it up using a lot of stuff, actually only stuff from Hey Harry's Coastal collection. As always, I will do my best to link all the CC I use in this build in the description box below, so it is easy for you to download in case you would like to. This build is also fully play tested and everything is completely functional and easy for your Sims to access. I guess for the size of the house that I built, it really didn't need to be on this large of a lot. I probably could have done it on a 20 by 15. I did end up using a lot of the yard space though. I gave the Sim that lives here a very large backyard with lots of activities space, an outdoor dining space and living space, a grill, and actually, now that I think about it, there is a telescope on the outdoor balcony on the second floor that is not functional. It's purely decorative. If you would like it to be functional though, you can put it into your Sims inventory and move it elsewhere in the house. Moving on to the second story, which is entirely the primary bedroom with the ensuite bathroom. I love all the natural lighting in this house, and especially in the second floor. This hexagonal bump out is where I put the bed. The bed and bedding is from Felix Andre's Feiyun collection, which is inspired by Chinese design and architecture, but surprisingly, the bed and bedding is very versatile. I create a little reading nook in one of the bump outs that from the exterior looks like a dormer using Pierre Sim's Combos collection that is new to my CC library and also free to download. The Combos set is really intended to create attic spaces in your builds. I wasn't able to incorporate a lot of the architectural pieces that come in it in this build, but I want to try using it in a future build. So I promise I'll do a better job at really explaining what that set includes in that future build. I keep the decor pretty minimal up here as well. Very intentional. I just add some book pieces and clutter items from Charlie Pancake's Lighthouse collection above the reading nook. That's all from Charlie Pancakes, and then on the dresser, various things mainly from Pierre Sim. The bathrooms don't feature any extra clutter items or decor, so no toilet paper, towels, things like that. It's only the things that your Sims actually need. The shape of the second floor bathroom is really funky. I actually borrowed some space from the chimney to use as a little bump out for the toilet. It's a really strange shape, but it works. And now onto the outdoor balcony where I put the telescope. The reason why the telescope doesn't work up here is because the roof is hanging over it, and it says that the telescope needs to be placed outdoors in order to use it, which I do place it outdoors, but the game isn't registering that. And in order to fence in the backyard, I had to scoot over the house on this lot just like a couple tiles so that the fences would line up. Oh, I do want to note that for some reason when I was playtesting this house, the front door wasn't registering as the front door. Like, you can't click on it and say set as the front door. So when the welcome wagon came to greet my Sim, my newly moved in Sim to the neighborhood, they were all walking into the backyard and going to either the side door or the back door, and I couldn't fix that. So that's also something weird. That just has to do with the way that Hey Harry modeled the front door. She probably, I don't know, used a door that you can't set as a front door or back door. You can only lock it for certain individuals, so it's just a quirk that comes with the house, I guess. All of the landscaping I pulled from Debug. It takes longer than just going into the buy portion, but it is worth it for several reasons. One, because it's free, so it doesn't add to the value of the lot, which means that the house is more affordable for your Sims to buy if you don't like to play with cheats. And also it looks so much better in terms of blending into the surrounding areas. I wasn't expecting adding this simple wall trim to the exterior of the house to really do much for the curb appeal, but it made a huge difference. It's not something that I do in my builds very often, but I think moving forward it's something that I want to make an effort to remember to do. It really breaks up the exterior of the house, especially because it was all just this blue simple siding from Hey Harry, and there isn't much going on to the exterior look of the house. Like, it just looks kind of boring, plain Jane. The one thing that you do need to do in order to get the wall trims to snap on to all of your roof pieces is you have to lay down a floor tile on top of your boxes. That's not really a great description of how to achieve that. You can see what I'm doing on the screen is like when I move the roof pieces off, it's because there is no floor tile on top of the rooms that I've placed. so I have to like go back in and add those floor tiles. And I'm just gonna leave that description at that because talking is hard this morning, okay? Continuing on with the landscaping and curb appeal, I'm adding some paver stones as a walkway up to the front of the house. These are also from Debug, found in like the Oasis Springs area of Debug. They're very cute and I like adding these to my houses. I also kind of discovered since doing the Blossom Park remodel that taking these grass pieces from Debug and sizing them down a bunch and just scattering them around like fence posts and by the stairs gives it a touch of realism. It's a very small detail, definitely not necessary, but it doesn't really hurt to add. I tried adding some pergolas that I have in my CC collection to the back, but I didn't like the size and shape of them, so I created my own using some fences and these columns from Hey Harry's Coastal Collection. Underneath the pergola, I added a seating area using Hey Harry's Coastal Collection seating. This is the outdoor patio furniture. In the backyard, I also add a woodworking table, so another skill building item for your Sims, and some gardening pots. And that's really it for this build, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. I'm going to end the voiceover here. Your girl is tired and I'm already late on uploading this video, so I'm just trying to get it out as fast as possible at this point. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed it, please give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe to my channel to see more videos like this. I actually have a very exciting build coming out on Friday because Friday is my birthday, so it's going to be a birthday themed build and I'm looking forward to that. I will talk to you guys in the next video and enjoy the screenshots.